Morning everyone, it's Audrey, Stitchy Witch 42. I like it. I sit down and all of a sudden my hair just went all in my eyes and there you go. It's Tuesday morning. It is Tuesday the 16th of March. A day later than I usually record, but Saturday both Mark and I went and got our second COVID vaccines. I am so happy that we have that behind us now. We kind of lucked into getting the first shots during the ice storm. Our neighbors came over and told us that one of the little pharmacies in town had 45 doses of vaccine that they had to use or lose. And they were doing it all word of mouth that day because the whole town had lost power. So we drove down on that Saturday and we got our first vaccines. Other than having a sore arm, neither one of us had any side effects. We went Saturday and got the second one. Have the sore arm all day Sunday. I had a horrible headache. And I think the best thing that I did is I drank lots of Propel water. It has electrolytes in it, and I honestly think that that is probably the best thing that I could have done. Mark felt a little punky all day, but he didn't have anything like a headache like I did. But that's past now, and both of us are feeling much better. Would have recorded yesterday, but we had some errands to run. We had groceries to buy. We had places to go, things to do, people to sniff. There was no sniffing of people. It's just a saying. I swear, I don't sniff people. My name is Audrey. I'm Stitchy Witch 42. This is a channel about cross stitch. That's what all the good floss tubers do, is they tell you that it's a channel about cross stitch. I just start talking and you get what you get. And if you've been here before, you know this. If you're new, you'll learn. Anyway, 2 weeks since my last video, only a day late. I'm feeling really good about that because this year has been difficult to say the least. So in my last video, I had shown a bunch of free patterns that I had stitched for February. And I decided that I was going to do the same thing for March because I've been looking at the backgrounds behind people in their videos, and I like seeing the backgrounds. I like seeing what everyone is showing, but I also like to look. I'm one of these people that I love seeing what's in other people's houses because I get ideas and I'm nosy. Whatever. So I decided that I was going to try to find some free patterns to stitch for March, and I did, and I shared them with you last month, 2 weeks ago, last video, whenever. Recording and brain function does not always coincide. Neither do words. I showed 3 patterns last time. They were all free patterns. When I'm looking for free patterns, I generally do a Google search. I will type into my search engine what I'm looking for. In this case, it was St. Patrick's Day, and then I'll go free cross stitch patterns. When it brings up that first menu page, I will go up and I will look at images. And when I look at the images, if it says they're on Pinterest, if it says they're on Pinterest, I pretty much avoid them because I have no way of really knowing whether or not they're actually free, and I don't want to, I know I have in the past, and that's why I don't share the patterns that I think are sketchy. But anyway, the first pattern I found was Fearn Abbey Needleworks, and it says it's a free pattern on it. So this was the pattern that I shared, and it's a really poor quality print of this pattern. So when I showed it to you 2 weeks ago, I had just started to stitch the borders. After I recorded my video, I posted that picture and this picture on Instagram, and a lady tagged a friend of hers on my post. That's cool. Share the love. But I commented on her tag that my copy of the pattern was really poor quality. In fact, I had to go through and I had to rewrite the symbols down here so that I could see what it was I was doing. And I know there's some back stitching up here, but it's really difficult to see on my copy of the pattern. Well, this woman, and her name is Sandi, she replied to my comment and said that she had found the original of this and forwarded it and a couple of others to her friend. And I said, would you pass those on to me also, because I'd kind of like to stitch some more thistles. By the way, this is Scottish thistle. I didn't say that. I thought you'd just know some way, somehow, whatever. So she did. She sent me an email. She had a much clearer print of this one. She also sent along a picture of what the stitched piece was supposed to look like, which I was really excited about, because then I could see where the back stitching was and how the back stitching actually created the thistles. So this is my finish of Scottish thistle. It's a wonderful small piece. I finished it as a flat mount because I am planning to do the same with this as I did with these three. These were the three from Elly Designs Hooray for Halloween. So since I have that up here, I have a giveaway to announce. Back during the ice storm and prior to the ice storm, I didn't get those videos out, and then I did 115 and 116 on the 18th of February. I don't know when I did them. Does it matter? Anyway, in video 115, I'm thinking, possibly, maybe, I said that I was going to do a giveaway for this and I was going to hold it open until the 14th of March, which was Sunday. The winner of this is Janet Stopol. So Janet, please contact me. I know we follow each other on Instagram, so just give me a message with your address and I will get this out in the mail to you. My plan is to finish this piece the same way as I did those. I think it's about the same size as the skeleton. So I was thinking if I can find a couple more patterns with thistles. It's hard to say. That I would make a little bouquet of thistles to go in my flower frog. That's also hard to say. What is it about doing a video that makes words so difficult? Anyway, I want to finish this on a bamboo barbecue skewer so that I can put it and maybe a couple others like it into my flower frog and have a bouquet next March. Whew. My second pattern that I stitched. This was also a free pattern. This one is by the Primitive Hare and it's called Irish Blessings. That's the pattern. What I liked about this is when I went and looked at her site and I looked at this pattern, she stitches it two ways. She stitched one pillow where she actually stitched the design. That's what I did. She also stitched a second pillow where she stitched the background and left the design as a relief. And I thought that was really a cool option to do. But I chose to stitch the design, and here is my finish on Irish Blessing. I made it into a small pillow. I filled this pillow with sawdust. Last summer, I walked down, we have a cabinet shop about 1.5 blocks away from us, and I walked down there with a big baggie and I asked them if I could have some clean sawdust, and the guys working in the shop all looked at me like why? And I said, well, I use it for finishing small pieces of cross stitch. And the guy goes, oh. And the way he said, oh, I knew that I had just said words that he didn't understand, but they gave me a baggie of sawdust, and I used it to fill this pillow. This is the second or third time that I've used sawdust, and it makes for a very heavy, dense pillow. I have discovered that when I am filling a pillow with sawdust, that what has worked best for me is to, one, use a funnel, to spoon the sawdust down in there, and then to use a chopstick to get it into the corners. And when I get to, I did the opening on the bottom, when I get to the top here, I really work that sawdust down and around, and then I also push it out to the corners up here on the top. Otherwise, they're really difficult to fill. And then I just get as much in there as I can. I also sewed this shut over my kitchen sink because it's messy. It's messy. So that is my second finish. That's Irish Blessing. And then the third one that I did. Now I refer to this one as Happy St. Patrick's Day because I couldn't really see a pattern name on here other than that. And it says it right across the top, but it also has a date. When I posted on one of the Facebook groups that I post on, complete sentences, words, a lady asked about where to find this, and I said, well, you can either go to Claddagh cross stitch at yahoo.com, or you could type in the designer's name and it's David Jackson. And I thought, I better double check that and make sure that you can find this pattern that way. So I did free cross stitch patterns, David Jackson, and I found a page full of these. Apparently he has designed a different one for several years. They're all the basic shamrock shape. It's the inside of the petals that are different. I think I will be doing more of these. And there'll be information down below in the drop-down box if anybody chooses to read it or not. But anyway, I finished this one as a flat mount. And I went to the store and I found some wonderful shamrock backing to use on it. So this is my third start and finish for March. I worked on these the 1st through the 4th and I was done. All incredibly fast stitches. So if you look back here at my display, I have this nice little wooden double tier stand. This is one of my purchases for March. I went to, not yesterday Monday, but last week Monday, I had an appointment in Salem, and I decided that since I was going to be in Salem all day long, I was going to go do some shopping. And I went to a bookstore, got some books that I'd like to tell you about, if I don't forget, because I do that. I went to Hobby Lobby, I went to Joann's, I purchased a bunch of stuff. When I was in Hobby Lobby, I was looking for a tier stand, and I found the metal ones, and think Goldilocks and the Three Bears. I found the metal ones, and they were kind of like Papa Bear's chair. It was okay, but it just wasn't right. And then I went and found another metal stand, and it was like Mama Bear's chair, and it was, yeah, it would work. I've seen lots of people use ones like that, but yeah, it wasn't just right. And then I saw this one. This was Baby Bear's chair. It was just right. I love wood. My living room is full of all different kinds of woods, all different colors of woods, and I think the simple fact that they're wood makes them all blend together. And this is a two-tiered wooden stand with a little bit of metal trim, which I liked. It was more expensive than the ones that weren't just right, but that's okay, because this one was just right. And of course, when I brought it home and I put my pieces on it, I realized everything right now is all about the same size. My other one that I have here is a free pattern from last year. This one was sent to me by my sister witch, Stacy. Thank you. And I stitched this one on black Aida. Oh, by the way, all three of those are stitched on the same piece of 14 count Picture This Plus Valor Aida. Show notes. Look at the show notes. The other thing I did is I decided that I needed to add some more to my display here, so I went and bought a couple of green candles. They have a wonderful apple smell to them, and I haven't lit them, but every once in a while I get that scent of nice crisp apples, so I kind of really like that. I went and bought an African violet and put it in a green pot because purple and green, you know. And the other thing that I have here are my McCoy hand vases. About 20 years or so ago, a friend of mine introduced me to McCoy pottery and hand vases. And I think these things are just lovely. I have, I think, 11 of them. Some of them are similar to each other. Some of them are different. This is one of my big ones. I fell in love with them. This one, I honestly don't know if it's a McCoy hand vase or not. It's the smallest one that I have. But the colors and the glaze that is on them, I think they look absolutely wonderful. And it enhanced my display. So, alright, before I forget, I went to the bookstore and I found a series of books by Elly Griffith. She is a British writer. They're British murder mysteries. And one of the things that I absolutely love about them is that they take place where my family lived when I was born in England. My dad was in the Air Force, and he was stationed somewhere around King's Lynn. If you look at a map of England, and this is going to be horrible, and anybody who watches me and is from the United Kingdom, they're going to hate me, but if you look at a map of England, here's England here, there's this little peninsula that comes up here, and it's here that is where I was born. I was born in Norfolk. My dad was stationed in King's Lynn. I was born in Heacham, and my family lived in Schnettisham. Fantastic names, right? This book takes place in that area. So it's really been kind of fun to read these murder mysteries that take place roundabout where my family lived. I don't remember any of it. We came over when I was 2. So, but it's still fun and I've been enjoying it. I will link her name down below too if you like British mysteries. I think you'll enjoy these. She's an archaeologist and there's bones and it's interesting. Okay, I have another start. So, besides the holiday in February and St. Patrick's Day, there is another holiday that takes place around this time of the year, and it moves all the time. And that's Mardi Gras. Mardi Gras, Fat Tuesday, the start of Lent. Is that right? It's the start of Lent? I'm a lapsed Catholic, I don't remember. Going to New Orleans has always been on my bucket list. It's one of the places that I want to go. I know that Mark has no desire to go there. So I am actually planning a trip to go there, not this April, but next April with my daughter and my granddaughters. I do not want to go during Mardi Gras. I think that it's just too busy and too chaotic, and I don't think that I would enjoy it, and I think my granddaughters are too young for it. But I like Mardi Gras. I like the colors and the festivities, and I wanted to find something that related to Mardi Gras because I thought that it would work well with this display or with my February displays or even on its own. So I went on a search, Mardi Gras free cross stitch pattern, and I found this one. Sorry. I found this pattern. This is by uglyducklinghouse.com. It's a free pattern, but for this one you actually have to subscribe. I have to pause. Alrighty. We'll try this again. I found this pattern. It's a free pattern. It is from uglyducklinghouse.com. It's free, but you have to subscribe to their site because you need a password to get into where they have a bunch more free patterns. They're all downloadable. It's just a subscription. No cost, no nothing. So anyway, I found this pattern and I decided that this is what I wanted to stitch. And I did a little poll on Facebook and Instagram because I had two different fabrics. I had a green fabric and I had a purple fabric. The purple was the one that I wanted to stitch on, but I did a floss toss on them both, and I think it would have looked lovely on either one of them, but I eventually did opt to go for the purple. So this is where I am at with this, and I just think this is so cool. I did all the outline, there's 4 different colors of gold, and then I have started filling in with the other colors, and I am just thinking that this is absolutely gorgeous. I have an idea for how I want to finish this. I was talking with Mark about how I want to finish this, and he improved upon my idea, so that will be something that I get to share at some point in the future when it gets done. But like I said, the first 4 days I was stitching on these pieces back here, then I started working on this one, and I think that pretty much took up most of that first week. And then I thought to myself, I really need to get back and work on some other projects. I have one that I have been wanting to finish, but I wasn't quite done with stitching it. I'd stitched the main design, but I hadn't stitched the corresponding piece going with it. What are you talking about, Audrey? Tell us. Blackbird Designs, Winds of Autumn. I stitched October 31st. And it shows that it's finished as a drum, which is what I wanted to do. But the sides of this one were done with Blackbird Design fabric. I don't have any Blackbird design fabric. So on the next page, there is another drum here. This is called Nebraska Prairie. And down here at the bottom of the pattern is this wonderful border. And I thought to myself, I said, maybe I could do that. So I was stitching this on a piece of 32 count BeStitchMe toast. And I'd stitched the top. Remember, that was the Drunken Martini Bird. It's sober now. And then I decided that I was going to stitch the border. According to the finishing, I needed a strip of fabric 2.5 inches by 16.25 inches long. That includes a 1/4 ounce seam allowance, which means lengthwise to go around the drum, I needed to stitch 15.75 inches. It's not quite 15.75 inches because it doesn't come out to the edge, but I couldn't get out to the edge because of the edge of the fabric, and I don't stitch in hand. So there'll be a little gap at the back, you know, something like that. It'll be fine. It's for me. I don't care. Sunday morning, before the headache started, I got this put onto some interfacing, and I managed to get the top part onto the piece of mat board. Mark cut out 2 pieces for me. No, they're not pasties. But I managed to get this one onto that. And at some point this week, next week, in the future, I will get this put around it and I will have a drum. I say that I will get to it at some point in the future because my work wife is going on vacation next week, and that means that I'm working all weekend long. I'm going to work Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, have Tuesday off, and then work my regular days. So next week I'm going to be tired because I'm used to only working 3 days a week, and having to actually work 5 again is hard. It's hard. It's my story. It's hard. Okay. The other video that I did on the 18th of February, I said that there was a giveaway in that one also. This one was for Shakespeare's Peddler. This is Basket of Buzz. And surprisingly, only 6 people entered for this, which means that it made it much easier for Carla Rigel to be a winner. Not that she wouldn't have been the winner anyway, but there was only 6 people who asked for this. So anyway, Janet Stopol, Hooray for Halloween, Carla Rigel, Basket of Buzz. I know we follow each other on Instagram, Janet. I think Carla and I do also. Ladies, get me your addresses so that I can get these sent out to you. So in my little stitching journal, the one that I got from Chris Yo, it's Yo, rhymes with crow, because on the bottom of the first page she tells you that. I've been decorating it up as I've been stitching and doing stuff in here and making little tabs and whatever. So for my Mardi Gras piece, I decided that I needed to have some decoration. And what I came up with is a paper clip and floss and a charm and a little bling. These are so simple to make. I took 3 colors of floss, the purple, the green, the gold. I cut those 3 pieces of floss, all 6 strands, 24 inches long. Folded it in half, cut them again, so now I had 6 strands at 12 inches long, And then I just fed them through this end of the paper clip and did a loop start. And then put a drop of glue on there and stuck a little bling on it. And I had this charm, it's part of an ear, it's what's left of one earring. But it was purpley and it was pretty. And I put that on there and I made a little paper clip. You can use them as bookmarks. You can put them in journals. You can do all sorts of things with them. And it just adds a pretty little bit of bling to a really great little journal. So that was a fun little thing to do. I also went up to Acorns and Threads, not last Thursday, but the Thursday before, and I bought fabric. I got a 30 count Legacy Linen Pecan Shortbread. This is a large piece, but this is 30 count. This is for the Blackbird Designs stockings that I had shown you in the last video. I got a 32 count Lugana Vintage Country Mocha. I have no idea what that's for, but I think having Lugana is on hand is a really good thing to do. I bought a 32 count Picture This Plus Nocturne. Gorgeous. Don't have any clue what I'm going to stitch on that, but I had to have it. 32 count Picture This Picture This. I'm telling you, the words just don't happen. Picture This Plus Ancient. A 32 count Cafe Mocha. And a 28 count Crossed Wing Linen Okefenokee. I've stitched on this before. It's gorgeous fabric. I need to stitch on it again. And then the only other piece of haul that I have is a new needle minder from Vikki, StitchNButton. She posted this. I sometimes feel like I should just give her access to my account because she keeps posting things and I keep saying, yeah, and so she bills me and she sends it to me and it's ridiculous. How's Frank, by the way? Sorry I didn't send him a tissue. Alrighty. I think that's everything that I have to share this time. I'm going to go try to splice 2 videos together because I ran out of batteries and I think I stopped it in time and I can do that because my extent of editing on my videos is putting 2 videos together, maybe cutting off the beginnings and the ends. Yeah. It is what it is. Thank you once again for coming and visiting with me. Thank you for all the well wishes that I got when I posted. I had the nasty headache from the second vaccine. I've talked to several people who have had both vaccines now, and the symptoms have varied from person to person and the severity of them. I had a headache all day Sunday. Mark felt punky all day Sunday. Yesterday we both felt fine. Drink lots of water. Don't take Tylenol unless you absolutely have to, because I've heard it can actually affect how well your body develops the immunization. I know that they are being rolled out more and more often. Check with pharmacies and see if they have extra ones available, because I know that has been happening. And people have been able to get to them sooner. I am glad that people are getting vaccinated. I know that the United States is probably getting more of them done faster than other areas of the world. But if you have the opportunity to get your vaccines, or if you've gotten your vaccines, we're all helping the herd. We need that herd immunity. My granddaughters are supposed to be going back to school today after being out of school for almost a full year now. So I can't wait to hear about that from them. Until we meet again, my friends, live long and stitch on. So long.